and I'm here to talk to you today about TechCom. We all have feelings about TechCom and various other classes that they're just not entertaining or engaging enough. And when you're not entertained or engaged, you kind of don't really learn as well as you could. Because think about it, when you're playing a game, doing things like that, you kind of realize something. You're like, oh, this is advancing me, this is helping me, this is doing better. It's an almost immediate feedback thing. You find out, if I do this certain thing, it helps me in an immediate way. Class doesn't really give you that kind of feedback. And a lot of that's because you're just not engaged. You're sitting there as a passive user of the class. So I've come up with a couple of ideas here and ways that we can make TechCom more fun. One of my ways was borrowed from someone in class here, but I kind of expanded on their idea, and that's going with the experience bar. And instead of having an experience bar that's just there and the student can look at it any old time, I thought that doesn't really do them any good. That's no different than going and checking on your grade at any point in time, or asking the teacher, hey, roughly where am I sitting? So I thought, what's the difference? What do, like, kind of an experience bar, what does that actually do in the game? It shows you how many more points you need to advance to the next level. Well, if you just have your fixed grades that are getting handed out, there's really no way of necessarily reaching that next level. Sometimes it's just not possible. There aren't the assignments there to be able to do that. So what I thought is, hey, let's have the class be set up so that we have 5,000 possible points that are assigned. And from there, we'll have an additional 2,000 points available through extra quizzes and assignments for students that can continue on and continue to put in work and effort. They might not have learned quickly the first time around. They might not have picked everything up right away, but they can keep working, they can try harder, and eventually they can reach that higher score. Because ultimately the whole point of this class is to learn and show that you've learned the material. It's not to get things right away. And so that's kind of the big thing that I'd like to stress about that is that, you know, everybody kind of learns at different paces and speeds, and it's really important that people be given the opportunities to learn. And so with that, they can look at their experience bar and go, oh, I'm almost at 2,000 points. That means I'm almost at a D. Or, oh, I'm almost at 4,000 points. I'm almost at a B. And then keep working, keep doing a couple extra assignments, make sure they really get that mark, that grade that they're looking for, and really show the teacher, yes, I've learned the material. Yes, I deserve this grade. From there, I've also come up with two smaller games. First one is the document matching game, where students will be given various cards. First series of cards will have 5 different documents on it. The students can look at it and go, hey, these documents are all this style document. And then they can look at other document cards that will have single documents on them, but they'll be of a particular style, and you have to determine what's wrong with that document. So the students can kind of go through this various ways to earn points. It's a fun way to apply the knowledge that they've learned in class. And it's also a game that can be played kind of throughout the semester as you've learned about various things, or it can be done as a single day game where the students sit and play it after they've gone through the curriculum. The other game that I've come up with, I refer to as Business Document Simulator 2014. And students will be playing a game where they're effectively put into small groups that would be a pseudo-business. The students will be given a product by the teacher, they'll be signed it, and it'll be something that's tangible and handheld, the students can put their hands on it. But they may have to interact with other groups in the classroom as well as the teacher to get things done. They'll need to procure information about their product, like materials. They'll have to write about material costs, inquire about these things, so that they can put it together for their little business presentation that they'll have to do. Kind of a key thing that I've really thought about that would be really important for students to do with this presentation, or with this group work, would be to have to write instructions. And I don't mean instructions for a game or anything, I mean writing assembly instructions, because there's a lot of things that surprisingly people take for granted in communication. And it's something that I feel is often overlooked. If students have to really focus and think, what do I actually have to tell people? They're going to have to go and think, hey, okay, this person needs to do this, needs to do this. And ultimately the end challenge of that is going to be, we're going to give, say, the teacher the product or another student, and that person is going to literally have to follow their instructions word for word to assemble this little product. So this really opens the door for a lack of communication that can happen not only in the workplace, but to your customers. And it's something that we really need to focus on and make sure we're importantly getting across, is that while you may not be having a face-to-face communication, what you put down on paper to communicate with other people is just as important, if not more. With that, the students will then give a final presentation, generally on a Prezi or PowerPoint slideshow, and be able to kind of give their whole little business, what they had to do to get all their information sorted out. And the teacher in the beginning will also give them a list. Oh, you need to make sure you find out this, 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 and this, and kind of just go. And I think it's a fun little way that the students can interact with not only themselves in the group, but also with the rest of the class as a whole, in order to be able to get, source information, like I said, practice communication with other professionals. So basically, my idea is that we should take learning and make it more of a almost at your own pace thing. Sure, class is going to move on at its pace, but it's also going to have a, if you didn't catch on quickly as everyone else, you can keep working just as hard, get those points, earn that grade you think you're really capable of getting. And then we're also going to engage students by testing their knowledge of the various document styles that we use in the TechCom classroom. And then also, I think, a fun little game just to kind of simulate what it's like to be in the workplace and the communications needed to get information procured for your business and also information to give to customers would be great things that will help the students learn in a practical way. So thank you very much. I'm Tom, and are there any questions?